Local productions seen on Delta College Public Media are made possible with support from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Dateline Delta. I'm Marcia Thomas, Vice Chair of the Delta College Board of Trustees. On today's show, we'll watch the dedication of a new addition to our sculpture walk and hear excerpts from a presentation on race and politics. We will meet a visiting artist and take a peek at our recent transfer fair. To wrap up today's program, we'll preview the weekend hobby welding classes and watch the Lady Pioneers volleyball team in their inaugural season. The Delta Sculpture Walk is a free outdoor exhibit featuring a unique combination of traveling art pieces and permanent works of Delta College. Recently, the walk expanded the number of sculptures in its collection. To tell us more, we spoke with Julie Dorsey, Foundation Manager.
Fall is a beautiful time of year to visit Delta College, and it's great seeing students on campus. We will often see students studying near or even drawing some of the many works of art on display. The Delta Sculpture Walk is a strolling, free outdoor sculpture exhibit that is fully accessible without an appointment 365 days a year. We recently added a new sculpture titled The Trophy. It was designed by a local artist named Rita Grieve during her lifetime. Ms. Grieve's original work actually was a tabletop-sized trophy, which was awarded to an area high school in the 1970s. This enlarged version of her sculpture is 78 inches tall and made of bronze. It features 4 figures who represent various aspects of what a well-rounded education has to offer and serves as a point of interest for students and visitors on the east side of campus. To celebrate this unique addition to our collection, Dr. Gavin recently welcomed Rita Grieve's family and friends to see the work up close and share their memories of her.
I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the campus today, and I want to recognize especially Guy and Nancy, along with Rick and Pam Grieve, for joining us for this very special event. The college launched its Delta Sculpture Walk initiative in 2011, and I just met the gentleman who launched that initiative in celebration of our 50th anniversary as a college. It was at that time that we began to discuss with Rita Grieve's family on how we could best add a piece from the artist to our campus. It's taken us a while to raise the needed funding, but today we have the tremendous pleasure of celebrating the completion of this new piece of art on our campus. The Delta Sculpture Walk is a free outdoor exhibit that features works held by the college. It can be enjoyed year-round by Delta students, faculty, and staff, as well as our community, and we are very pleased to expand it again today with the addition of this special art piece.
I hope they will see in the tallest boy strength, perseverance, and optimism, all hallmarks of pioneers, such as this student whose outstretched neck and uplifted head appear to be searching for the direction of his life and looking forward to the greater achievements of the future. Look at the boy studying his book, that they will reflect on the vital importance of becoming learned individuals and recognize that must be the most important objective while attending Delta College. And looking at the theater student, I hope it will occur to them that they too will have a role to play in the greater stage of life and will commit to becoming engaged participants in those fields and activities that speak to them. The 4th figure is a little more challenging. The girl is the smallest of the 4 figures, yet her face appears to be the most mature. She appears to me to be a gymnast, who with her cupped hand under her chin, I think of as wanting her voice to be heard, and who I hope, like all Delta students, is extolling the virtues and the benefits and even singing the praises of Delta College and the life lessons and education she is receiving on this beautiful campus.
An electronic map of the sculpture walk may be found on the Delta website as well as the Public Art Passport. Printed versions are also available upon request. We welcome all visitors and are happy to give in-person, accessible, and even golf cart tours, weather permitting. For more information, please contact the Foundation office. Additionally, visitors to our downtown Saginaw campus can enjoy a work called Opportunity that our students actually had an opportunity to help design. Our Delta Sculpture Walk is always expanding, and we have some exciting new plans to share in the not too distant future. Stay tuned to Dateline Delta for details.
Delta College's President's Speaker Series has hosted many noted and influential speakers over the years, and a recent speaker, Dr. Jelani Cobb, was no exception. Dr. Cobb discussed the intersection of race, history, politics, and culture in America. Let's listen in.
So today I want to talk a little bit about, I think if we think about what ties all of these themes together, what I want to talk to you about is democracy and the moment that we're in our democracy. It's not hyperbole, it's not exaggeration, overheated rhetoric to say that we're in a moment of crisis. Our democracy finds itself in a period of volatility, difficulty. There is concern, and this is not simply a partisan concern. One thing that I have found is that 69%, a recent kind of study showed that 69% of Democrats and an equal number, 69% of Republicans, feel that American democracy is in jeopardy. And they see this jeopardy coming from vastly different directions. It reminds me of a headline that was for a study. It was an actual study that was done, and the headline said, divorced couples, study shows divorced couples cannot agree on what ended the marriage. Right.
Earlier this month, the President's Speaker Series was delighted to host Dr. Jelani Cobb, who's known for being the staff writer for The New Yorker, and he's also been named as the dean at Columbia University with their journalism school. Dr. Cobb is well known for his work dealing with race and equity and how history ties into that within the American framework. Dr. Cobb spoke to a near capacity crowd as he highlighted race and history through the power of storytelling.
I came to know at some point in my studies that Queens, where I grew up, was statistically the most diverse county in the United States. How did that come to be? Well, New York is a very diverse city, and Queens, which is one part of New York City, is the most diverse portion of it. In order to understand how that happened, we have to go a little bit further back. In 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed two historic pieces of legislation right near each other in about a 2-month span. The first was the Voting Rights Act, 1965. It's political context we'll talk about, but it is arguably the centerpiece of the civil rights movement. It is the legislation which is now under significant political assault now. But in 1965, this was the legislation that enabled African Americans who had, through violence and intimidation, been pushed out of the political system. And it created protections to make sure that anyone could vote without having to fear for the loss of their lives. As just an aside, we'll just put a pin in this and come back. One of my kind of foundational memories is my father taking me with him into the booth in the presidential election of 1976. My father was from Georgia originally. He went into the booth to vote for his fellow Georgian, Jimmy Carter, This was in Queens, and he took me into the booth, showed me what he was doing, and tried to impress upon me the importance of casting your ballot. I was 5 or 6 at the time, and it took me decades to actually understand, and long after my father had passed, decades to actually understand why he did that and why that was important. The reason he did it was because had he attempted to vote as a young person in his native state of Georgia, he very likely would have been killed at the time in which he grew up. Not permissible for black people to vote in Georgia at that time. So 1965 Voting Rights Act, Lyndon B. Johnson signs that in August. Tremendous piece of legislation, transforms the face of American political society.
The audience was made up of students, faculty, and community members. And one of the hopes that we had as a committee was understanding that as a member or as a citizen, that we have the power and leverage. And it was really a call to action. And Dr. Cobb, when he called us to action, he gave us hope for the future. We would like to thank Dr. Cobb for visiting Delta College. It was a very inspiring visit. In February, the President Speaker Series will be welcoming John Quinones from ABC News. We hope you can come out to the college for this presentation.
Delta recently welcomed artist Bonnie Lally to the college as part of its Visiting Artist Series. To hear more about this program and our visitor, we talked to Andrew Ryder, Associate Professor of Art.
In the art department here at Delta, we are beginning a Visiting Artist Series. This will be recurring annually. It is founded with generous support from the Delta College Foundation Office. Our first artist is Bonnie Lally. We're really excited to have her back. She was a teacher here, instructor of drawing for over 10 years in the art department. She's been working in her home studio since retiring, has been exhibiting all over the state, and we are excited to have her as part of her new exhibition schedule.
I became interested in the arts because it's always been so. It was my family culture. I've never identified as anything other than an artist since childhood. It was very much valued by my family.
In conjunction with her opening on October 10th, she'll be doing a demo in one of our classrooms that will be taking place during a Drawing One class period. Other students from the art department and throughout the college are welcome to attend and will be in attendance. Hopefully, students will have the opportunity to see how a working artist executes their own process, and we'll get to hear a little bit about her professional journey and how she has approached a career in art making.
I love this palette. This was a room full of people in period dress, and I stopped the screen and just did some color studies. One thing I would like for the students to get out of this, and I'm realizing as I'm talking to them during this workshop, is to feel more free with their materials and less precious about adhering to their first phase of a drawing, and thinking, okay, that's done, it's great. Really trying to encourage the freedom to just push their boundaries just in methods and materials and get to that next level with a little more freedom than I think I had as a student. I was very worried about rules and tradition. I don't care about those things anymore, and I find it so liberating that that's what I'm really trying to share. The current exhibit that just went up at Delta College is flora and fauna and figures in landscapes where the figures are even somewhat overgrown with the botanica that I'm illustrating. In the exhibit, in the Galleria, I would have to say my favorite piece is the large-scale piece of a woman and her dog in a landscape. Just visually, I was so thrilled with how the colors came out and the figure. It's more surrealistic with the large scale hands than I'm used to doing, and it's a portrait of my daughter, so that's my favorite. It was just a wonderful honor to be the inaugural artist for the Visiting Artist Program at Delta. I'm really thrilled to have this experience and this opportunity. I taught here for almost 20 years, and I'm enjoying the visit back again.
The exhibit will remain up until early December of this year.
Delta College has many transfer pathways with universities to make sure you can maximize your time at Delta when you go to earn your bachelor's degree at one of our partnering institutions. To learn more about transfer opportunities, we talk with Stacy Strimlow, Associate Director of Academic Advising.
A transfer agreement is an agreement between Delta College and our university or college partners about transferring our courses to meet their requirements at their institutions. The benefits of a transfer agreement for our Delta College students will help them save time and money when they are transferring for their bachelor's degrees at our partner colleges or universities. The transfer agreement will help them understand how their courses are going to transfer in advance. It will help them plan their courses here at Delta to make sure that they are making the best use of their time and energies here so that when they transfer on, they will have the least amount of courses that they will be required to take at their final transfer destinations. Recently, Delta hosted a transfer fair with 35 partners coming to our main campus and being available to talk with students, with prospective students about the transfer process so that these students can learn about the agreements and the relationships that Delta College has and how their studies here can help prepare them for the next leg of their educational journey.
So this is a great event because students can come and talk to a bunch of different colleges from around the state and just kind of see what everybody offers. You know, is this a good fit for them? What does the different schools have? And it's how many times you get a chance to be in one place and have 30 different schools that you can talk to.
I came here today because I was interested in transferring to U of M Flint, and this is the first time I actually heard that a school would be interested in a transfer fair there because it's less heard of than U of M Ann Arbor, and I'm looking to transfer into radiation therapy from Delta after 2 years. It's really cool that they have this because if you look at the flyer they offered for the transfer fair, it had every college you could think of in Michigan, which is really cool because I could look at other colleges I'm interested in with the same program as well.
The transfer fair is a real benefit for our students. They are able to learn a lot about the transfer opportunities and speak directly with our transfer representatives and transfer partners from other institutions. To learn more about the transfer process, you can contact us at the email address on your screen now.
Delta College will be offering 4 exploratory welding classes for people with high interest at welding but little to no experience. For more information about these classes, we talked to James Proctor, Associate Professor of Welding.
We have 4 different 1-credit welding classes that are going to be offered in the winter of 2023. And those 1-credit classes happen on Saturday and Sunday, so there's very little commitment for our students. And 85% of the time is spent in the welding lab actually practicing welding. Those 4 classes are going to cover the main processes that's used in welding, and those are gas tungsten arc welding, commonly known as TIG, gas metal arc welding, commonly known as MIG welding or wire feed welding. We have shielded metal arc welding, commonly known as stick welding, and we also have oxy-fuel cutting and welding. These classes are mainly geared towards people that want the exploratory experience with these courses and the hands-on aspect that's fun without the commitment. So they're 1 credit long, 1 weekend, and you're done. You could take 1, you could take all 4, and anything in between would count also. Students will need a suitable coat for welding. They will also need safety glasses, some type of leather shoe or boot. They do not have to be steel-toed. A welding helmet, welding gloves, So students that are interested in taking these courses should contact me at jamesproctor@delta.edu or call me at 989-686-9599, and I will describe what you need for each course. Students that are interested in taking this class should apply to become a Delta student online. That part is free. Then they can search for the courses that they are interested in and sign up for them online. The cost of the class is going to include their tuition, plus fees, and their equipment needed for the course. This class is for anybody. People with welding experience, people with no welding experience, people that want to just get an idea of what welding could be like for them. They are all welcome to take this class, and it will suit their needs just fine.
Volleyball has returned to Delta as a collegiate sport. To tell us more about this year's squad and why volleyball was added to Delta's roster of sports, we talked to Dion McCullum, Delta College Athletic Director.
Volleyball has been a project of ours for almost 3 years now. It's the fastest growing sport in the state of Michigan. It's a huge sport in our area, so when we lost it 11 years ago, it was a really big deal and a passion project of mine to bring back. So we applied for a NJCAA opportunity grant, which gave us a little bit of the funding to start the sport back, and then the school all kind of put the funds together to bring the sport back. We posted the job. It was posted for about 3 months before we began interviews. So we actually brought a group in to come in and run our tryouts for us. Our coach now actually came as a local high school coach to see what it was about. She came to both nights of tryouts, and then eventually conversation started to where she became interested in applying for the job, and she's been an amazing fit so far.
Our goals for the inaugural season were to obviously come out running. We didn't want to be subpar, and I think it was hard starting so late. I mean, we didn't really form in a complete team until the beginning of August, so I think we were a little nervous in that regard, but we got some good players. Our goal was to initially just be at the national championships, but our realistic goal was to, make the weight even. I'm happy with the result, and they've worked super hard. We have a good group of girls, good dynamics, no drama, and just really hard workers. I played 3 years of collegiate volleyball in Kansas, and that is very, very different than coaching. I am finding it is much easier to be the player than I think it is the coach. But coaching experience, I've never coached collegiately. This is my first time. As far as recruiting, I'm trying to recruit mainly local, within to Detroit or to North Branch, just because I feel like this is our community college and I want our girls to have a chance. But I have been speaking to 2 girls from Arizona and a girl from Texas and that have reached out. So it's recruiting is a little harder than I thought. Our seasons are the same, so it's hard to recruit when I'm in my own season. So I just choose any Saturday that I have off. I'm at tournaments or I'm downstate or wherever, but it's very challenging.
Pioneer Athletics is looking to grow every year, so we just ask the community to come out, the school community to come out, and continue to support all of our athletic teams as we continue to grow. Volleyball is just an example of how great athletics can be here at Delta College with the community support.
I'd like to wish the Lady Pioneers the best of luck in their inaugural season. Now, let's see what's on the Dateline Delta calendar of events.
The Delta College Planetarium is hosting a series of shows during the month of November. For more information about these shows and events happening at the planetarium, visit their website at delta.edu/planetarium. There is a Michigan Reconnect information session to learn about Michigan's exciting tuition incentive program. The session is happening on Monday, November 7th from 4 to 5 p.m. The event takes place in room J130, Computer Lab. Delta College's downtown Midland campus is hosting a FAFSA completion event on Thursday, November 10th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. in room 121. For a complete list of items to bring, contact Delta at 989-686-9080. Delta College is hosting a dual enrollment virtual information event on Friday, November 11th from 3 to 4 p.m. To reserve your seat, register for free at delta-edu.zoom.us. After registering, you will receive a confirmation email containing information about joining the webinar. There is a brown bag lecture by Sandy Schwann of the Castle Museum of Saginaw County History on the Treaty of Saginaw of 1819. The lecture is happening on Wednesday, November 16th, starting at noon in N007. It is free and open to the public. Join us at our Fall Choralscapes concert on Saturday, November 19th from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Delta College Lecture Theater. For further information on these events or other campus activities, contact the Office of Marketing and Public Information at 989-686-9490 or visit our website at www.delta.edu.
Well, that wraps up our show. Please join us again on November 20th when we highlight what's happening here at Delta College, one of America's leading community colleges. Now let's return to the Pioneer Gymnasium and watch more action from a recent volleyball game. For Dateline Delta, I'm Marsha Thomas. Thanks for watching.
Local productions seen on Delta College Public Media are made possible with support from viewers like you. Thank you.